Okay. Hi everyone, it's Miss Nikki Ann. And yeah, that's my little friend there, my Lego friends. I was just thinking, I missed last year, 2014 was 10 years since my journey with my illness. And it's funny how fast it went. And so right now, let's see what month it is. Yes, this is I think the exact month almost, um, where it's 15 years now, to being on the journey. And it was just interesting. In YouTube, I was on already before I knew that I was sick. But I look back and I think it's been like 5 years or something like that since my first dysautonomia video. And wow. That the woman I see in those videos, she physically went through so much physically. And I think, now you guys remember, I'm 40 this year, so I'm not like, some young woman who was sick. No, I was, whatever age that was, guys, 30 or 20, 29 maybe when it started. And so her physical appearance changed, but the strength endured from the beginning. The strength was already there. Okay, the strength had been being prayed on and prayed for a lifetime, and so it made all the difference. It made all the difference in being able to get through it. And being able to listen to God about life and not what you think it ought to be, but what it is. There are people who die every day of smaller things, a flu, and they've done nothing wrong. It's a journey. And hopefully the strength is already present within yourself, because if you've already been doing this for a while, you realize at a certain point that some of your doctors will begin to wonder if it's, a psychological issue, when it's not. But there can be a piece of it, as we all know through studies, that because of the illness and because of what it does and what it is, that there is a component there, but it's just because of the illness. It's not because you're depressed or looking for attention. So the strength, and through the whole process, especially the last 10 years, the people and their, I'm praying for you, girl, and all these things. I'm thinking to myself, what are you praying for? And so after a short time, I would just be like, strength. What do you need from me? If you need me, no. I just need, if you're going to pray to God that I have to give me the strength, because it's a long road and not everybody's going to get better. We don't talk to people with other different ailments, about getting better and better, and they just keep getting worse and worse. I could go down the list from really serious cancers. Life has a story for each person. Okay. And strength, people, strength. And even if no one else around you has it, you can find it for yourself. That strength to stay grounded and to know that no matter what this body is doing, it needs to be nurtured or it's really going to fall apart. It'll be worse than what it is. And strength, that just keeps strength. I went through so much on a daily basis, sometimes seeing, 3 doctors in one day, wondering why, the exhaustion, it's already an issue, right? But that type of schedule where you've got an illness that, pulls and tugs you in 50 million directions at one time. My God. And I'm just now coming from out of that and trying to create a pattern of fewer appointments. Because if I'm going to have the best quality of life, it is best that I keep myself out of doctor's offices. At this point, only because I say it because I have gotten the best answers that I'm going to get. And so now it's time to take all that was given to me from some wonderful and brilliant doctors and utilize it to live the best life possible. And it's difficult because everyone's important. Every specialist I have is important. That's why they're called specialists. So I can't avoid perfectly clear, I only need a doctor appointment a year. No, it's still an every month thing and never a week without appointments. But every once in a while, I can find a week where oh my God, there's no appointments there. I start making X's like I refuse. But then something happens on the weekend. And on that week, I'm at the ER. But yeah, and the strength is there. And I'm able to breathe a little bit better, stretch my legs out a little bit more, not like literally stretch them, I don't feel so bad about different symptoms, like realizing that my body, and I've tried it all, it loves to be, and I have that zero gravity position, it needs to be lying down, and I do have to get up and do things but for the most part, I get a lot done in that position, and to have to accept it for myself and to not care what other people think about that position. Because if they're not living it, even as a doctor, if you've studied something, if you don't know what that feels like to have that vertigo and pre-syncope every freaking day of your life, and to lie down and be like, oh snap, okay, look at this relief once you figure it out, So in whatever happened with the steroids and my weight, over the course of those 4 surgeries that I had that I mentioned earlier in earlier videos, the metabolism was just sparked again. It was weird. And so just like I thought, and like some of my doctors who really took time to look at the case thought, that it didn't have anything to do necessarily with what I was putting in my mouth, okay? Because the weight is just falling off and I'm not fighting the lying down position that my body wants, okay? So, and in the beginning, when I was thoroughly bedridden, I was really small, okay? I mean, you know what I mean, compared to where I got to 296, 300 pounds. So I can remember 162, 165. And that for me is overweight because I'm usually 138 to 142. But, just weird things about, I was lying down, but I was smaller. And then all of a sudden I get these steroids in a huge, humongous, serving for 10 days. And then all of a sudden I haven't changed physically what I'm doing, but my body's just picking up weight. And then all of a sudden, to be sick from surgeries, it triggered, now the light's back on. Like, okay, here we go. The body is so fickle, people. And again, I never fully reached the 300, but it was like 298. To reach that weight, to have never been fat, obese, to have never really I feel like if I weighed 142, 138 to 142. Always. To me, I just still don't feel like 165 is even, that's good Christmas food or something. Where am I? 300 almost. Until all of a sudden, it's just gone and it's just falling off. And I'm not doing anything differently. If anything, embracing more the fact that I have a better quality of life if I give my body what it's asking for as far as the symptoms, And so, 11 years now, people. 11 years. And I've known some of you for 5. And I thank you. And I pray that others are able to find the connections that they need, that they're able to find the videos that they need that actually answer the questions that they have in their mind or connect the dots finally. Do not, unless you were already crazy, don't think that you're crazy. And if you were already crazy, that doesn't mean that you're not sick. Okay? So, yeah, people. Wow. The look, my face, who that woman was when I first met a lot of you 5 years ago. Just but the strength was there. The foundation for that was built. And without it, I would have snapped even more. I feel like, there's a certain degree of when you're going through something difficult where it just is, your body is just like exhausted. But, the strength was even there for that, to be like, okay, it's not me. It's not the spirit Nikki. It's the body Nikki that is having a hard time. And respect that. I'm talking to myself. Respect it. Why continue to fight it? And none of the people you've seen have had this. So you're the leader in this situation as far as information. You're ahead of them because you're in that body and you see more doctors than they've seen. You see what I mean? So strength, people. And if you're at the beginning, build it. If you don't feel like you have much, just go ahead and start building it, and you can do that by coming online, talking with people who affirm what you thought. Like, I'm not crazy. There's something weird about the fact that when I'm in the light, I start to get vertigo and presyncope, as opposed to if I just go ahead and stay in not complete darkness, but, rooms that don't have any light bulbs, that aren't emitting any unnatural light. Oh my God, I feel better. And to say to the people, if I were a cancer patient who you knew was having light sensitivity issues because of their cancer symptoms, would you turn the light on and tell me that it's in my head, or tell me you've got to deal with it because the world is full of light? What would be the point in harassing them? A cancer patient. So what's the point in harassing someone like myself? Me harassing myself. Like, oh my gosh. And I already have seasonal depression. So there are times I have to get the light box. It drives me crazy, but it's not like I have to be with it all the time. And I had this even before the light sensitivity, people. When I was exercising out in the front, I already had the seasonal depression, even when I was out in the light. And then the thing that I thought was depression really was anxiety. It wasn't depression. And I remember going to see new doctors. They're like, do you have any depression? No. And I'll be like, I have anxiety. Okay, now here's a doctor who deals with a totally different part of the body than my psychiatrist and my psychologist. I have both. And it just couldn't click. Like, I'm not depressed. Then I see their notes when I request copies to send the insurance company and stuff. Patient appears depressed. I'm not depressed. I have anxiety. And it's not just me who's anxious. Chemically, my body's anxious. I'm not walking in your office to just be anxious of anywhere. I need to be anxious at home where I'm having symptoms. I feel like I'm going to die. And what should I do? Go to the ER where they halfway kill me, or stay home and die there? You see? Now that's some anxiety. But sitting in your office, coming to you for help and your assistance in this specialty, this is what you specialize in. I'm not depressed. I told you that, and you still put it on there. I have anxiety, and the anxiety is connected to the illness. You see, people, you see how, and I'm going to end it in a sec here. You see how strong I was with that? I'm not depressed. I have anxiety, and that anxiety is connected to the illness. Period. Now, I would like to see you make a note of that, and it's perfectly fine, of what I just said, so that when you go and you work it up later on and you type in depression, because everything is computerized when we go in there now. And so there's one person I'm thinking of. I'm going to go with, for me, he was just iffy. Yeah, I'll say it that way. But my other doctors, and I'm like that, like, okay, what are our notes? They're my notes about me, about my health. And she'll read them off to me. And I have 1, 2, 3. When I count, everybody's willing to read it. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm requesting my health notes. So if you're right, you wouldn't write something that you would feel embarrassed about, saying in front of me, would you? You know what I mean? So you'd rather tell me than to wait until I get the copies. And then I call you. And I'm not depressed. Now I'm angry, but I'm not depressed. And because what they write in those notes, people, it's very important. Because if you end up having a case like mine and like so many others where you're not going to get better, where it is progressive, those notes can mean all the difference in your disability case. Okay? Depression, anxiety, 2 different things. And anxiety connected to your illness, as opposed to anxiety connected to the things happening in your world, 2 totally different things. You have to know yourself and have the strength to say, hey, can I see that? What are we writing? What are we saying in this appointment? What are we both leaving out of here working on together or thinking should be the next thing? I wasn't depressed, people. I should have been, but I wasn't. And that's it for now. 20 minutes in. This video is mostly about, realizing that 11 years has passed. And also that I've been talking about my dysautonomia on YouTube for about 5 years now. So just looking back and hopefully passing on some strengthening words for others who could be on this path. All right, everybody, be good, be patient, be in the moment, be as well as possible. Okay.